Niall Harris with me. He is the Recromax Player of the game, and as soon as we get that plaque up here, you'll be given that plaque by Recromax. And this was a tough ball game.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
We started out very strong, got up by 9 points, and made a couple of changes, and then they got on a roll and got a 7-point lead at half, 38-31, and then they just kept on executing.
They did, yeah. I think at first we were doing our thing. We were playing how we meant to play, and then we got a lapse, and then they started rolling after that, and then after that we were just chasing the whole game, pretty much.
Yeah. And this is the nice trophy here. It's a plaque, Player of the Game by Recromax, and that's you've been up here before, and Player of the Game, and very nice, and had a good game here today. Had 15 points and 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals. A great effort by you, Niall.
Thank you.
Anybody you want to say hello to?
My mom, my dad, and my sister. I'm back home watching. Thanks for watching.
Okay, thank you for Player of the Game and Niall Harris. And we'll get Billy in here and talk about the game.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Niall. Okay, Billy, we got some pretty good effort out of the team, but...
Really?
Well, they executed pretty well, I thought.
For about 5 minutes.
For the game, they shot 60% from the floor, 52 from the threes, and 58 from the free throws.
Yeah, that's the worst defensive performance we've had all year, Jim. We played better defense at Nova, even though we gave up 112 points down there. We defended better than we did here tonight. We defended better against Florida Atlantic University, Division I on the road. Our opponents have been making about 39% of their shots and only 28% of their threes. And tonight, this team shot 61% overall and 52% behind the arc. You can't win games when you defend that poorly. And I thought we defended poorly tonight, we rebounded poorly, and we shot the ball poorly. So it's hard to win when you don't defend, don't rebound, and don't shoot the ball well. We got out-rebounded maybe for the first time this year, and it was a pitiful performance. They out-rebounded us 35-28. Not very good there. I mean, we forced 20 turnovers, but by the time they started turning the ball over, we were already so far in the hole that it was going to be near impossible. And I'll tell you the guy that really hurt us, 22, Tyler Edmondson, when he came off the bench.
3 in a row.
He made 3 big threes in a row.
When we were close.
We were making a run. We were, scratching, knocking on the door. We had started to play with a little bit of intensity, a little bit of pride, a little bit of effort. And then Tyler Edmondson just comes off the bench and bam, bam, bam. He knocks down 3 big threes. But, they went 12 for 23 behind the arc. Their best player, Malik Adams, was 4 out of 5. He shot 8 for 10 overall. Their second best player, Xander Okerlund, was 7 of 11 overall, 2 for 5 behind the arc. Number 3 and number 22 knocked down 3 threes each. That's 6 more threes from guys that, 22 is a really good shooter. We knew that. On the year, I think he came into the game 12 for 18 behind the arc.
He was 67%.
Yeah, 12 out of 18 on the year. And then tonight he goes 3 for 4 more. So now he's 15 out of 22 on the year. He might be leading the nation in three-point shooting. But we talked about all those guys in the pregame and the scouting report, and we just didn't do a very good job. I mean, ultimately, and I look at it as well, I just don't think we scored well. We didn't score enough points. 68 points against a team of their caliber is never going to win the game. So I thought we got outworked tonight. We got out-hustled tonight. We got out-executed tonight. And I just told our guys, go enjoy 7 days off, and hopefully they'll have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we come back here on the 28th. Our next practice will be back here on December 28th. And, we're going to have to start from square one all over again. So, we haven't hurt ourselves in our league tonight, but we certainly hurt ourselves in as far as our national reputation goes. I mean, this was a game that we thought we're playing a team from a very good league, another very good Division II conference, from Northern Michigan, and this was a test for us. Unfortunately, we missed our leading scorer. Seshawn Russell was out again tonight, and that probably can account for some of our offensive woes. if Session plays, it's a whole different ball game because he's such a dynamic basketball player with the ball in his hands, and he always has the ability to score 25 or 30 any given night. So, he's definitely hard to replace. But, Nako Ziegler, had a 19-point night tonight, and, he had 7 assists and 1 steal. I mean, the biggest problem there, he had 4 turnovers, and he did miss 10 shots. So we didn't shoot the ball very well. I thought Niall Harris, we gave him the Recromax Player of the game, and that's because overall, in his 37 minutes, he was 1 rebound away from a double-double. He had 15 points and 9 rebounds. He also had 3 assists, only 1 turnover, and 4 steals. So I like those numbers, and I thought, Niall Harris deserved to be the player of the game. He was 3 for 6 from 3, 6 of 11 overall from the floor, 9 boards, 4 offensive, 5 defensive, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, only 1 turnover, and 1 blocked shot. And when Niall was on the floor, his TER was a -8. Excuse me. I had a little scratch in my throat there from yelling all weekend. But I thought it was a well-deserved player of the game for Niall Harris. I know he'd much rather be player of a game for a win, though, than a loss. So
yeah, well, you got it to 3 points there after being down 16, and then I guess that took just too much out of you.
Well, there's an old saying, Jim, in basketball, and you've been around a long time, so you've probably heard it, but when you dig yourself a hole, it's one thing to come from behind. It's another thing to come back and win. You can always get back. You can fight back and get back, but that uphill battle makes it so hard to get back and win. And they just were waiting for us when we got back, when we had our big run and got it close, And there was one moment, too, our coaching staff was sitting there where we missed a layup, we missed 2 free throws, we missed another. We were like sitting there going like, it ought to be a tie ball game right now. But we're looking up and we're 6 down, but we had done everything right to tie the ball game up. And that's what you got to do. You got to be at home. You got to protect your home floor. You got to take pride in playing at home. And I'll say this to Lake Superior State. They traveled well. They brought a lot of fans down with them, and with school not being in session and, this being a winter break here, and, of course, the COVID situation, and we're not open to the general public. We weren't advertising to the public and selling tickets to the public to come in, inviting anybody to come in. So Lake Superior State's fan base, the families that came down from Michigan, they had a bigger crowd here than we did.
Oh, yeah.
And they were allowed and a crowd that got into the ball game. And so we might have been on our home floor, but I'm sure Lake Superior State's players felt like they were at home from the support they were getting from their families and friends and the fans that had traveled down with them. So, unfortunately, it was a disappointing, very disappointing loss for us, Jim. Just felt like we just didn't, we started off the game really well. And if you remember, we were up
9 points.
We were up 9 early in the basketball game with 14-14 to go in the first half. And over that last 14 minutes, there was an 18-point swing. We went from 9 up to 9 down, went into the locker room down 7 at the half.
Well, Monte got in foul trouble. Did that hurt a little bit maybe? He only played half the game.
Yeah, but, this was a guard-oriented game. The problem is that they played 4 guards and 1 forward. They were a guard-oriented team. They shot the ball really well. So with both Makai and Mate out there, we didn't match up that well with them anyway. So they got a lot of easy buckets. We gave up in the first half. It wasn't really the threes that hurt us. In the first half, the main thing that hurt us was layups. They scored a lot of points in the paint in the first half of the ball game. And, overall for the game, both teams had 30 points in the paint. Overall, in the intangibles, we won the points off turnovers. We won the second chance points, but that's a little misleading, Jim. When they shoot 61% from the floor, they don't need second chance points. They're making 6 out of every 10 first chance shots they're taking. Fast breaks, they beat us 14-10, and bench scoring, as I said, when they brought in Edmondson off the bench and Bassett off the bench, those 2 guys combined for 16 points right there. Their bench outscored our bench 18-3 tonight. So it was just one of those nights where, we didn't do enough things right to compete throughout the game. And when we let the game kind of get away from us a little bit, it gets really tough to come back against a team as fundamentally sound as they are. They defend well. They don't beat themselves. Lake Superior State's a very well-coached team. Steve Atinga's an outstanding basketball coach. They don't beat themselves. And even though we forced 20 turnovers, like I said, it was just we uglied up the game. We tried to ugly up the basketball game to give us a chance to get back in it. And even that wasn't enough because, we missed bunnies. We would get steals. We'd drive. We'd miss a layup. We'd get fouled. We'd go to the line. We'd miss 2 free throws. So, we missed 7 free throws on the night. I don't know how many layups we missed, but we missed 36 shots from the field. 3-pointers. We missed 16 threes in the game. So, and part of that was our execution, our offensive execution was poor. We didn't set good screens, so we didn't get shooters open. Sean Halp just didn't get good looks tonight. He's 3 for 11 behind the arc, 5 of 16 overall. But he's a great shooter, but he's got to get better looks. We got to have better timing, better spacing, and we have to set better screens to get those shooters open. We didn't do a very good job of that tonight. Our screens were soft. The timing was poor. The spacing was poor. The screens were soft or non-existent, lazy screens. So I thought we did a lazy job of executing on the offensive end of the floor. And then on the defensive end of the floor, it was a bit of a lazy effort as well. And I know you can say that, we played 45 minutes last night. We had to go to overtime to beat a very good Notre Dame. And Renako Ziegler played 45 minutes in that game last night. So maybe there were some tired legs out there, but saying that, Lake Superior State was running basically an 8-man rotation as well, really only using 3 subs off their bench. The fourth guy that came in, Cassidy, didn't have any points, didn't have any rebounds, only played 5 minutes. So, wasn't a whole lot there. I thought their starting 5 and a couple of their subs, Bassett and Edmondson, were the guys. And then last night, same thing. They only played like 8 guys significant minutes. And they only got big contributions from 6 or 7 of those guys. So both teams had tired legs. So I'm not going to use the overtime last night as an excuse for tonight. Like I said, I would have loved to have been at full strength for both of these games. It would have been nice to see. We've built our team, and we know who we are. We know what we're about. And it would have been nice to have Seshawn Russell out there with the ball in his hands and everybody playing the role that they normally always play. We're still getting good impact. Niles been coming off the bench for us. He started both these games, and he'll continue to start for us until Seshawn returns. But we're still getting, we're getting other players that are guys that might be coming off the bench for us playing better basketball. So, Sam Grant had a good weekend tonight. He didn't get, as many good looks, and it was a tough game to play a freshman like that in. John Turgott got a couple of minutes, took 1 3. Josh got in there for 5.5 minutes or so and, made a steal, had an assist, but didn't get any shots, didn't get any looks. Amir Bennett had a couple of minutes out there and didn't score, didn't get a rebound. Jacob Crockett. I'm looking at Elias Martin. Jacob Crockett played almost 9 minutes, didn't get a rebound, didn't get a steal, didn't get an assist. Made 1 free throw, didn't get any looks. And part of that it was frustrating, Jim, because we just didn't execute offensively. We uglied it up in the second half, and it looked like a bad pickup game. And I give a lot of credit to Lake Superior State. Their defensive effort was outstanding. They pushed us out of everything that we wanted to run. They forced us into an ugly pickup game, and we weren't very good at it. They stuck to what they do well. They executed extremely well, and they continued to play good, solid, positive basketball, and that's why they won the game.
I think, Adams had like 16 points at the half or something. He didn't get very many the second half, but Oakland stepped up, and so did Robinson, and so did,
Well, and if you look at it, they scored 43 second-half points, but a lot of it was, easy stuff that they got in the second half, when we were pressing and trapping and overplaying. When you do that, if you don't get a steal, you're going to give up a layup, and that's what we did, and open shots. And, like you said, Edmondson, he was killing us from the perimeter in the second half, and Robinson. C.J. Robinson, number 3 for them, knocked down a couple of big second-half threes as well. So I thought Edmondson and Robinson shot it real well in the second half. Adams shot it real well in the first half. Oakland, did a great job, I thought, of getting to the basket and scoring at the rim. He had a couple of dunks, I think, in the second half. I thought they had a pretty complete team performance, Jim. Kingsley Perkins, had 6 points and 8 rebounds, 2 for 3 from the floor, 2 for 2 at the line. That kid's a freshman. So, when you look at it, I thought they had a pretty complete team performance. And I know they're missing a player, too, a post player that their coach kind of compares to Kevin McHale. So when they get him back, he's their starting center.
Yeah.
Perkins will come off the bench probably. But when they get that kid back, and then Bassett will probably move into the starting lineup at some point as well for him. He's been out with knee problems. So Bassett gets to play. How many minutes did he play? 18 minutes. So in 18 minutes, he had 7 points, 5 boards. Last night, in 20 minutes against Lynn, he had 13 points and 6 rebounds. But these were his first 2 games of the season because he had a meniscus problem. So when Bassett and their other big kid return to the lineup, they got a really good basketball team. They're going to be very, very good. So, I know they were missing a good player tonight. So were we. And, the player we missed is a dynamic player and would have certainly made a difference. Would we have won the game? I don't know, but I think it would have been a much more competitive basketball game. We'd have been better than 7 of 23 behind the arc. I think we'd have done better in a lot of categories. But, overall, we only turned the ball over 11 times in the ball game. We ended up with 13 steals. A lot of numbers look good for us, except 2 things, Jim. We didn't defend well enough because they shot 61% for the game. And from behind the arc, they made 52% of their threes.
Wow.
That's the worst defensive performance we've had all season. So defensively, we were poor. We didn't rebound well. We got out-rebounded for the first time this year, and we didn't shoot the ball very well. We shot 40% overall on our home floor and only 30% behind the arc. So if you don't defend, don't rebound, and don't shoot the ball well, it's really difficult to win. And that's kind of the equation for our failure tonight in the nutshell.
Yeah, well, you got a long break now, and you got to come back and play a tough Embry-Riddle ball club. You'll have to get ready for that, and then don't
We
get
only
it
have
easy.
and we only 2 days to get ready for Embry-Riddle, and then after that, 2 days to get ready for a good Eckerd team on the road in St. Pete at Eckerd. So we play Embry-Riddle on December 30th, and right now they're nationally ranked. They've been ranked all year. They've beaten some really good teams. They've only had a couple of losses.
1 loss.
No, they lost again this weekend.
Oh, did they?
They got beat badly by West Virginia State by like 19 or 20.
Whoa.
So, but they're a great basketball team. They're having a great season. They've got 2 of the best guards in the country in Romeo Crouch and Elijah Jenkins. And trust me, Jim, we'll have everything and then some. And like I said, we're still going to probably be, our alpha male short. So I don't think Session will be back for that game. I don't know when he'll return. He will at some point, but, he's it's going to be a day-by-day, week-by-week thing, and we'll see. And when we get him back, we'll be excited. But until then, whether we're shorthanded or not, it's next man up. Somebody's got to step up. And like Niall Harris tonight, 15 points and 9 rebounds. He also had 3 assists, 4 steals, and a block shot. So, we got a great night out of Niall, but everybody else has got to do their part. And it goes back down to, we were probably good enough if we'd have defended better and rebounded better to have a chance to win this game. Because, there's another thing. An old thing is if they're scoring, then you're going to score less. But if you start stopping them from scores, now you have an opportunity to get more possessions. The other stat I looked at was, we took more shots than them. But again, they didn't need many shots because they made 61% of their shots. So overall, we took 60 shots. They took 51 shots. Both teams took 23 threes. We shot a lot more free throws than them. But the bottom line was they made shots. We didn't. They rebounded. We didn't. They defended. We didn't. Rebounding, defending, and making shots, you've got to do those things to beat good teams, whether you're home or on the road. We didn't do those things tonight. We got to get back to doing those things better. And you said it a moment ago. there are no easy games left on this schedule. Every game, the rest of the season is a Sunshine State Conference game, and they're all going to be tough, Jim.
All right, we lose this game 81-68. We'll get a nice break for a week or so and then come back to the grind again.
And last but not least, thank you to Health First for their great sponsorship of this weekend and support of our program for the rest of the year and all the good things that our players do in the local community. And also for the last 2 games here in the Winter Classic, thanks to Recromax for their support as well and sponsoring the Player of the Game award for both yesterday and today. So we've had great local sponsorship throughout this season. We appreciate it. Thanks to the local community and your belief in Florida Institute of Technology and our men's basketball program and the young men that represent this university and wear the crimson and gray for us. And again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to all of Panther Nation out there. We'll see you not in the new year. We'll see you December 30th with Jim Mitchell on the call as we take on Embry-Riddle.